Hey YouTube, Grunt Reviews. We are back with, it's been a while since I've been excited by a new AR product. Guys, this is the Rare Breed FRT-15 trigger. As always, guys, go down below. Please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you stay up to date with everything we're doing here at the channel. And if you want to help support us, I've got a Buy Me a Coffee link in the description, and let's get into it. Guys, Rare Breed trigger is installed. This is just my kind of backup rig. I've got about 20 rounds in here. We're gonna see if we can make this thing work. So, there we go. All right, so single shot will fire on semi just fine. One shot for one pull of the trigger. But this uses that FRT, that forced reset technology. So let's see if it will force it on my finger. And still locks back. So it's definitely a different shooting experience. So if any of you played paintball many years ago, you'll remember that Tipman had a system that actually forced the trigger back into your finger. Of course, it was run off of CO2. This one actually has an extra spring in it, and when we get it to the studio, I will pop this lower off and we'll show it to you. But it actually allows you, it forces that trigger back into your finger to speed the next shot along. So far, a lot of fun. I'm gonna grab another couple mags and let's see how it goes. All right, so I got a couple of mags loaded up, and I know some folks are gonna ask, why do you have a plate carrier on? Do you think you're hoorah badass, whatever? Guys, I'm actually doing a review on this Agilite K19, and when I do a plate carrier or piece of gear, I like to use it for an entire day. Since we happen to be at the range, I figured I'd help kill two birds with one stone, and I'll link you to the review up above here. But we got another mag. I'm gonna shoot this again, and I wanna highlight something. So this trigger, with their forced reset technology, if you ever shot a bump stock, the issue with bump stocks is you're kind of trying to get the whole gun to vibrate. Does not make it very easy to stay on target when you're out at the range. With this forced reset technology, it's very easy to stay on target, and I'm not going to say you're going to be shooting sub MOA by any means, but much more easy to control. And the other side of it is, depending on how much pressure you put on the trigger, will control the rate of that reset. So very light pressure. And then if we add a little bit more, you can hear it start to accelerate there. Let me grab another mag and seat the mag. There we go. Oh, there we go. Overloaded the old P mag there, and we're up. Yeah, big old wad of hot something hit me in the hand. But guys, very cool product. Very easy to make function. We'll cover this in the tabletop. Does make closing your upper and lower receivers a little bit more difficult, and I'll show you why. But so far at the range, I bought a 200 round range pack for this because that's what we could find in stock, and this thing has truly and honestly run flawlessly. It is a little bit weird in semi-auto. When you hold that trigger back, it's almost like there's two resets when you let your finger off. So when you are just aiming to have one round, The trigger does feel a little weird, something to point out if you are considering one. These are going, and I use Gunbroker, and I know those prices are insane, and that's where the scalpers go, but they're running for about $500. This particular one I actually picked up from a vendor at a gun show that had them in stock for testing. All right, guys, flip this up. So I'm gonna hold the camera this time, and I'm actually gonna let my buddy slash camera guy shoot it. So let's see if this works for everybody. All right, let her rip. And you're dry. How was it?
There's no way this is gonna last.
So easy for anybody and everybody to use as well too. So Rare Breed did a really good job with this. All right, guys, so something I do want to highlight with this, they do recommend a heavy buffer and a standard bolt carrier for this. Maybe a little hard to tell, but this rifle, I normally keep my TS Arms low mass bolt carrier, and I use an Arma spec silent buffer system in it. With the standard bolt carrier and with a standard buffer, as you saw earlier, it does work well. When you go to a lightweight bolt carrier and a lighter buffer, it does not like to cycle correctly. So this rifle with a standard, I use the Rise RA535 or the Trigger Tech Diamond triggers, it does run great. And I know it does. The only thing I have changed on this is putting in that Rare Breed trigger, but we'll load up around and I'll show you what ends up happening. The little tab on the back of this trigger, best I can figure, because this bolt moves so much quicker with having lower mass, it doesn't give it enough time to reset it. So what you'll get is one shot, it will seem like it cycles, dead trigger, and when we open it up, it won't have stripped another round. I did try, this is a Lancer mag, I tried a P mag with it as well, but I just kind of want to make that note for you that you do need to use a full weight bolt carrier and a full weight traditional, you know, carbine or rifle style buffer with this. So if you are fighting this thing working, that could be part of the problem. Guys, I'll see you back in the studio. Final thoughts on the Rare Breed trigger. First thing I do want to do, so Rare Breed on the package says this is a 5-pound trigger pull, and we're going to go ahead and test that. And with our Lyman digital trigger gauge, we are 3 pounds, 2.7 ounces on the first pull. Get reset there. 3 pounds and 0.1 ounces on the second. And 3 pounds, 8.4 ounces on the third pull. So ends up realistically coming in a little closer to the 3-4 pound mark than the 5 advertised. Actual trigger pull or trigger feel on this thing, little bit of creep up front, a little bit more creep. There's a lot of that stacking feel to it, and then it breaks. It doesn't really have a defined wall, if you will, for the non-FRT use. So this is only a 2-position trigger. Oops. So it's one and done. This does not require a third position to it. Something else I did want to highlight too that we saw at the range. So let me pop this apart real quick. This does require a full-size bolt carrier. So this is my Cryptic Coatings. It's a mil-spec carrier in titanium, obviously with their coating on it. What we did run into is my This is my TS Arms low mass bolt carrier. Any of these carriers that have this cutout section to it, what you end up getting into with this trigger is the dingus on the rear. The full mass bolt carrier, the rear section of this actually applies the proper pressure to the dingus to make the FRT technology work. With any of the skeletonized type carriers, you end up, that dingus gets caught there in the back. So if you do have a low mass carrier, you might want to grab a mil-spec one. We're gonna finish pulling this bad boy apart. We're gonna look at this up close here. Give me just a second. All right, so we'll take a look at this thing up close. Fit, finish, feel, beautiful, kind of a mystic bronze, burnt bronze color to it. Would really, really look good in some sort of skeletonized rifle, if you will. Quality looks good, coatings look good. I don't see any tool marks or anything like that on it. What'll make this different, and I have a Rise Armament drop-in trigger here, is you'll notice we have this little dingus here at the back. And this is actually what drives the FRT system. So when we pull the trigger, everything cycles, bolt moves, bolt holds back on this, and you'll see the trigger as it resets really force itself forward onto your finger, and then it allows that next trigger pull, very easy to get repeatable follow-up shots with this thing. So as you can see at the range, this thing really, really does work as advertised. It does everything it says it does, and it's a quality piece. Right now, these are selling for in the vicinity of $500. I think MSRP was in the mid fours. I saw them at one point jump to almost $1,800 on Gunbroker, but just kind of wanted to give you that up close look at it. Guys, as always, I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you enjoy what we're doing for you here at the channel. And as always, stay safe, train hard.